Canadians are fed up with mass immigration, but not only that, immigrants themselves are saying they are done. The word is out that the Canadian dream is not what they were promised, and there are people struggling in Canada right now who were sold a bad bill of goods, and they are sick of it. And the mainstream media, the government, the powers that be are catching on that people all around the globe and inside Canada are done with this immigration scam. So what have they done? They're trying to address it head on. And of course, they decided to spin the facts a little bit and come to the wrong conclusions. So we are going to address that today. Let's get Toronto is probably, if not the number one of the top liberal cities globally. So if these people are saying there's a problem, there's a problem. And guess what? There is. Social services, public services, healthcare, any sort of housing issues, like these things are not being addressed in Toronto, and they can't be because we cannot keep up with the level of somebody out there in the Ukrainian community. You guys should find them, see if you can help them with the truck drivers licensing. Seemed like that could be a big help, but it doesn't make sense to have this many delivery drivers, and then people will say, well, who's going to deliver your food? Then it gets delivered less. People can deal with it. Like, this is not an economically productive role to have people on bikes breaking even. Objectively a fact, we do not have housing for these people. There's a high percent chance they could end up homeless. The government knows this, and they're going, but we need the quantitative peopling. What we can do is we can keep bringing in people, take all of their money, and Canada will look like it's doing better on paper. It's not economically productive because that's why we're in this GDP recession that was mostly correct. Canada let in too many people in a short period of time. We have no infrastructure to absorb it. We've said that a couple times. What they left out there is Indian companies, Indian recruiters, Indian schools selling these diploma mills. It's all stuff that we've covered in these videos. So when they said Canada did this, Canada did that, I will say Canada is at fault from our lack of enforcement because we have made the rules too easy to be broken by certain people. When we know we are setting up people to be homeless, we are setting up our healthcare system for failure, and even said that we're bringing, if you are the real estate agent with a Rolex, if it was real, and you're homeless, sell the Rolex, buddy. You gotta sell the Rolex. That being said, guys, obviously I'm a real estate agent in London, Ontario. I cover Ontario. But the point is, don't think real estate agents are doing well because they have nice things. I just had this conversation with somebody recently. Real estate agents are always spending beyond their means to try and sell an image. They don't actually have that much money. You could live the real estate agent lifestyle if you too had zero financial responsibility. So if you want to just spend on debt and pretend and live a fake lifestyle, you can do that working a non-real estate agent job. Most of these people are not making it. It's just a fact. We have X amount of houses. If you bring in Y amount of people and the numbers don't match up, then yes, that is a problem. What is the number that we can control? We can shut off the lever of mass immigration. The problem is when these stupid freaking people go into these, oh, well, you can't just blame immigrants. Yes, you can't blame immigrants when we used to have reasonable numbers that the country could absorb. When you bring in 1.3 million, which is basically unheard of and unprecedented, the rules change. But the players are the same, okay? Canada is so left-wing and so liberal that our, anti-immigration group who's starting here is like, we're not actually xenophobic. We're not, he's like so worried about getting called out when it's just like, yeah, there are groups who live in communities outside of Canada that are not cohesive. There are groups who come to Canada who do not want to integrate. They just want to come here and take communities all around the world who feel that way. But it's just funny that this guy who's like, oh, he's the worst thing. Look at him, blah, blah, blah. And he's just not true. Like this whole, I want to find out when Canada's a nation of immigrants was coined, because that's just not the case. Like, yes, we've had immigration for years, but to be like, it's this super diverse, we've been bringing people from all over the world. There is no stereotypical Canadian. Like, if you look back at the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, watch movies, watch media, what's the stereotype of a Canadian that exists? Is it a super diverse Canada, blah, blah, blah? No, I think there's stereotypes. City and the people we bring bring in, and it wasn't built by the forefathers who have done this over time. But yeah, we'll just keep pumping in different groups of people who have nothing in common, and as Canada continues to trend to get worse, we are obviously doing the right thing. Oh, it's getting way worse for everybody, including the immigrants who are coming in. Yes, we must be doing the right thing. Let's keep it up. This guy made me so mad when I don't think we have a choice, and we're not just letting them in. It's an honor for us. It is an absolute pleasure to let in just unfettered mass immigration without checking any of these people. No, idiot. There's such a thing called math. If we cannot fit the people with the services, if there's no social cohesion to it, if it's breaking down the fabric of Canadian society, well, people are just going to show up anyways. Yeah, we have a thing called borders. We have security agencies. We have all sorts of things, idiot. Worse outside of Canada, but the more people we bring in, the more that's going to make it worse for the immigrants who came recently, the people who try to come through the proper channels, all of these things. We know that with students and LMA and all these types of frauds, just the number is way too high. And even me, after all of that, is not saying we need zero immigration. I know that Canadians are not having kids. If you're watching this, you're young and married, have kids. But if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. You absolutely rock. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a great rest of your day.